So what's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the Film Fan Reviews. Now today, we're talking about a movie that I know a lot of people are probably fans of this franchise, but I'm really not one. I grew up with them, and it's the new Transformers movie, Transformers Rise of the Beast, and I actually liked this one way more than a lot of them. Like, I tried to go back and watch all of them recently and try to do a video on that, which there might be some footage left that I might pop on the screen here, but I did not continue with that video, partially because I had a lot of stuff going on in my life right now, but also, I just don't really enjoy the movies that much. Like, I watched the old cartoon one from the 80s, that for the very first time, actually. Didn't really love it that much. I thought it was okay. The music was by far the best part for me, and the animation was really dope, but other than that, I just didn't really connect with the story at all, and it's very much an 80s cartoon, so I wasn't really a fan of the cartoon or even watched it before, so it wasn't really my thing. And the same with that one from the early 2000s, 2006 I think is when it came out, which I was 10 years old. Prime audience for a movie like that, and a lot of it still is kind of funny. Like, the Bernie Mac scene is by far the best part, but there's some humor in there that's still funny, but a lot of the effects are very dated, and it's very much a Michael Bay movie where you're just looking at girls' cleavage and explosions, and that's pretty much all it has to offer for you, which is fine for some people, but for me, I just wanted a little bit more. And luckily, I never watched any of the Mark Wahlberg ones, even though they were filmed like pretty close to my hometown, but it was pretty cool to like see the sets that drove by and stuff and seeing some of the cars back then, but never watched the movie, and from what I've heard, I don't really need to. But I loved Bumblebee. It was actually the first Transformers movie I saw in theaters, and I went and saw this one today, and I did not regret that decision whatsoever, because it's really fun. It takes place in the 90s, and it feels like an action movie from the 90s with all the comedy and little one-liners during the action stuff, but the action, and with all of the Transformers and the new Transformers being like the jungle type ones, so much fun in here, and all the Transformers fighting looked better than it ever has before, in my opinion, and I just had a blast watching this one. It has a good story around it too, with Anthony Ramos, you know, from like Into the Heights and Hamilton and stuff. He has a little brother who's sick, and he's kind of doing all this to try to help his family kind of recover from poverty, and while he's doing it, he's also going to make the money and save the world at the same time with these big-ass robots. And that story, I mean, yeah, it's kind of a hero's journey that you've seen a bunch of times, but it plays out very fun, and I think the cast is great. All the voices are a lot of fun. I mean, you have Ron Perlman, I think, as the ape one. Optimus, I can't remember all the names right now, but he's there. Pete Davidson as the, I can't remember his name right now, either like Mimic or something, but he's actually pretty funny. His dialogue, I can see a lot of people getting annoyed by it, but I personally found him to be a lot of fun with the comic relief stuff, and we have the classics like Bumblebee and other people, but I just really enjoyed the overall feeling of this movie. And with it being in the 90s, it also has a great soundtrack with like Wu-Tang and a bunch of other classic rappers, and yeah, I can see myself definitely going back to this. So Stephen Caple Jr., he's a big director for me because I love Creed 2, and I was really excited to see what he does with this franchise, and honestly, I think he did a pretty good job. He balanced everything well. He kind of picked up some pieces from Bumblebee and played with it while still honoring the old Transformers movies, in my opinion. So overall, a solid 4 out of 5 for this one. I say go check it out. This summer's been a lot of fun for blockbusters, and this one's no different. If you're a fan of Transformers, I can see you really enjoying this one, and honestly, if you're a fan of just going out to see a really fun movie on the theater and not really caring about it being a real serious and just drama type thing, then this might not be for you. But if you're just going out there to shove some popcorn in your face and have a fun time watching some crazy stuff explode, you're gonna like this one, I think. So, no, wait, before we get too far, let's hear what Coda has to say, because he's out of town right now, but he also went to see it today. So what do you have to say for yourself, Coda?
All right, guys, I just got out of the new Transformers movie, and even better than I could expect, because there was 2 giant robot gorillas. Could not ask for more in a movie, except for maybe 3 robot gorillas, but hey, I'll take 2. As far as the movie itself goes, a lot of fun. You know, I mean, it is what it is. If you've ever seen a single Transformers movie, a single action movie, heavy CGI, of course. I guess practical effects for giant robots would probably be insanely expensive, if not impossible. So, you know, it is what it is. It was a lot of fun. It was cool. It sets up some fun stuff for the future. I myself, I'm a huge franchise interconnectivity. Like, I love this multiverse stuff. You know, I'm really big on it. So I'm hoping that I'm interpreting this correctly, and that's the direction we're going. It's going to be a lot of fun. Back to you.
Oh yeah, 4 out of 5 stars.
Thanks so much, dude. Like, I have no idea what he said because I'm recording this now and he hasn't even seen it yet, but hopefully he said good things. But go check it out and let me know what you think about it and what's your favorite Transformers movie. Like, mine's Bumblebee. I love that movie so much, but this one might be like edging its way up there. Like, I don't know. Let me know what you think and I will see you next time. Maybe even at the movies.